What is going on, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the Upper 90 YouTube channel. Today marks 1 year since Thomas Tuchel has signed for Chelsea, so we need to run the numbers on how great this manager has been and why Chelsea need to hold on to this guy as long as possible. So stick around as we dive deeper into this. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Mike, huge fan of the Premier League, but obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, and if you agree with me that they are the best team in London, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notifications if you're capable of doing that. Now, today's video, like I stated, is about the one and only Thomas Tuchel and what he's done at Chelsea in the last year, since it has been 1 year since Chelsea have signed this great manager, and why Chelsea really need to look at the numbers and how well he's actually done. Because prior to this, I even made a video myself. People were talking about how Thomas Tuchel might be let go by Chelsea, which again seems absolutely crazy. Yes, they got the win over Tottenham, a 2-0 win. So again, I think Thomas Tuchel right now should be okay, even if he was in the hot seat for a couple weeks. But when you look at the numbers that I'm about to go through, it would have been just crazy to think that Chelsea were on the verge of maybe firing this manager with everything that he's done for this club. So, like I said, I'm going to be looking at my laptop here a little bit and looking back at the camera to go over some of these numbers. Now, the first one we obviously want to talk about is his win rate. Now, currently, he's at 59.7 win rate, which you could argue, yes, that could be better. It could obviously be worse. 59.7 isn't really the highest that you want, and it's not going to be one that's going to get you to win titles in the Premier League. But again, this is only 1 year, and then we have had some issues with injuries, with COVID, things along those lines. So I'm not going to give him a hard grade on this one. And even though 59.7 is a good score overall, but Jose Mourinho had this rate about the same last time in the second venture at Chelsea, and that was considered terrible. So again, I'm not going to say it's bad or worse, but it could be better and it could be worse. Now, the next thing we definitely want to look at, though, is his Premier League record. Now, this is where I think it really stands out, and that last percentage really doesn't give you a full picture of what's been going on with this club. Now, currently, his record with 43 games is 24 wins, 13 draws, and 6 defeats. Let me say that again. 43 games, 24 wins, 13 draws, 6 defeats. He's only lost 6 times, and a lot of those have come to Manchester City. So the fact that these draws are the ones that are making a huge difference for Thomas Tuchel and how Chelsea have been operating this past season. If they could win some of those draws, Chelsea would be sitting in such a better position, not only in the table itself, but in other competitions as well. Yes, I know they are in a final right now with the League Cup, but even in Europa or in Champions League, they could be sitting a little bit better. But again, it is what it is. But 13 draws is that number that's going to stick out like a sore thumb, because again, that is a spot that they definitely need to improve in and knock teams out and get that win. Because if they can do that, again, that is going to go just so much further for how Thomas Tuchel can make this club so much better. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, though, and this is a massive stat, which why Chelsea were so dominant and why I thought they were going to have a good run this year until injuries happened, and that is 21 clean sheets in 43 league games. No side has achieved more. So 21 clean sheets in 43 games, that's almost every other game. That right there is ridiculous, because in the last month and in December, we've let in so many goals that you would think that there's no way that we've had 21 clean sheets. But you have to remember, when Thomas Tuchel came on board, we were winning so many games with not letting any goals up. And even the beginning of this season, before we picked up some injuries, we weren't letting too many goals in. We really only lost our first match, I believe, to Manchester City, which was a 1-0 loss. But prior to that, we were winning most of our games with not letting up any goals. And that is why Chelsea was doing so great. Now, once we kind of get back on track, I think with different formations, getting players healthy, we should be able to do this. And I know Thomas Tuchel will get the right settings, formations, tactics, all that down with the players that he's going to be offered with, like I said, when players come back healthy. I know Ben Chilwell won't be back for the rest of the season, but once Reece James comes back, I think that's going to be a huge impact, not only in our attacking side because Reece James does go forward, but obviously in our defensive side as well, because that guy is a tank. Now, moving on to the next one, we need to talk about then our top scorers, which this one, again, you could argue that maybe this should be a little bit better, maybe it should be a little bit worse, but top goal scorers, we have Mason Mount at 13, Jorginho at 13, most of those being PKs. I know. Hakim Ziyech, which I'm really surprised by that, having 10, just because he doesn't play that often. But again, to be number 3, that's pretty impressive for that player. Kai Havertz and Timo Werner rounding out number 9. And as we know before, this is where we have been struggling, is scoring goals as of lately. I know Thomas Tuchel has been doing a really good job in trying to rotate players and getting the best out of his players, but it's been very difficult for our top 3 players, or top attacking third, to score goals. And again, this is another area that we've been lacking, and I want to say it's due to injuries as well and COVID along those lines. But once Thomas Tuchel can get everything back in line how it was prior to, I would say, November, if we can get things back to that running course, we will do really well. Now, that all being said, I think Thomas Tuchel has done a phenomenal job. I won't say he's been the best manager, because Jose Mourinho, in my mind, is still the best manager Chelsea's ever had. Yes, you could argue he never won a Champions League at Chelsea, but Thomas Tuchel is right there up with him. And if he's able to keep going, keep building each and every year, I think he can actually pass Jose Mourinho up as the best manager ever for Chelsea. And I want to say, you have to look at Pep Guardiola, you have to look at Jurgen Klopp, and how long it took them to kind of build where they're at now with both of those clubs. It wasn't 1 or 2 seasons where all of a sudden they had instant success just like that. It took multiple seasons. It took some different transfers, took selling some players as well to finally get the right players in the right tactic, formation, all that to get the teams that they wanted to have, that they do have now. Same thing with Thomas Tuchel. If he gets the time, the money, and the players that he wants, this could also be a well-run team that could go on to win a lot of Premier League titles, which again, we've been lacking since Antonio Conte, but also go on to win other trophies. Yes, we won the Champions League last season, and hopefully we can win it again, but it's always difficult to make it back in the final, win it again. And along with that, winning other league cups like the League Cup itself and the FA Cup. Thomas Tuchel, I definitely trust in this guy, and going forward, future-wise, I think all the players should be happy and satisfied. Yes, I know there's been some turmoil with certain players, but again, this guy is the right manager for this club to steer us in the right direction, get the best of all our players, including our youth players, because as we've seen, as of lately, he's definitely done that with even Trevor Chalobah, Reece James. Yes, we know he was already doing well. Mangala Sarr, all these players have been doing very well under Thomas Tuchel, and I think the more and more players that come through the system and play for him, definitely will see huge improvement for this team and our youth squad as well. So that is all I have for you today. Again, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this video. I greatly appreciate that. Helps grow this channel, helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself who enjoy this sport. So I will see you next time.